Howdy folks, and welcome to 15 Nautical Mile Arc. Today is our first video in a series of videos. We'll be flying across northern Minnesota along the Canadian border from west to east, stopping at most of the airports, flying over some of them. All the airports in these videos are 3D modeled and they're available on the Scenery Gateway, and I admit I know that because I'm the one who designed them, except for 3, and I'll obviously say which ones those are. It's a really cool area. The small towns are modeled really well in Autogen. It's all default scenery, and I thought it'd be a good way to look at some default stuff. So many videos feature payware scenery and things, and I thought maybe I would start by showing what X-Plane actually has to offer on its own. You'll notice this is a payware aircraft we're going to fly today, but more on that in a minute. Today we're going to start at a little airport called Piney Pine Creek border, and it's hard to say. It's 48Y. What it is, it's this little airport here where we have Canada here, United States here, and this line right here is the Canadian border. So if you zoom out, you'll see it goes right through the middle of the airfield, and it's kind of neat. We'll be flying straight south, and then we'll catch a VOR over to Roseau. Roseau officially doesn't have an instrument approach, but we're going to catch the Roseau VOR on the 90 radio going towards it so that we can go over the town of Roseau. And I'll talk about that when we get there. VFR today, by the way, I prefer to fly VFR for the most part. I prefer general aviation aircraft over jets. Just some things outside of the norm of other flight simmers. You will notice then today we are flying the DHC-2 Beaver by SoulMadeSim. This was the second aircraft I ever purchased, and it is my favorite aircraft. I fly it all the time. If I'm doing any experimental flights, I don't know where I am, I always fly this airplane. If I want to do VFR flying, I always fly this airplane. I do have other payware general aviation aircraft, but this one gets my attention all the time. It's a little tricky to land, but I think I got it. I put the Tundra tires on it before we started here because we're going to land on a grass strip in Roseau. And I think that's enough talking. And we're going to start this thing up. First of all, let's climb into our aircraft here. Use my controls. There we go. Everything looks great. Let's hop in that back seat. Alright, let's shut the door. And then we move up to the front. And come over and shut the door there too. Alright, if you haven't flown this aircraft before, I'm not going to do a review per se. There are much better qualified people to reviews. I will give it lots of praise, but be aware of your controls. You need it over here. For example, your pre-flight elements are here. I turned on my Tundra tires here. We're going to just fly with passenger today. You can make a cargo if you want to. Cargo, passenger, cargo, cargo, or passenger. I also want to say another thing I like about this aircraft is there's no frame rate hit at all. I get about 30 frames per second in the aircraft, 40 to 60 outside of the aircraft, even with my laptop processor and laptop GPU. Alright, enough talking. I admit I have a cheat sheet. First thing I do, I click here and hide the yoke. A lot of people ask how to do that. That's all you need to do. Already removed my flight elements. Props are already up. I don't have a prop lever on my joystick. I'm going to go down here, turn on the batteries. Now, I admit I'm really bad about lights. I like to turn on everything. Pitot heat, map light, cabin light, nav light, beacon. Don't forget about land light. Yeah, we'll turn it on. Pulse light and instrument light are these up here. Look at the instruments, and there we go. I like those too. Alright, what do we have after that? Oh yes, we have to move down here. Have to pump this up until our gauge gets to the green. If you don't do that, it will not start. Of course, I start everything cold and dark because half the fun is getting going. One more. There we go. Our gauge is in the green there. Alright, now we need to move over to the primer and hit that 3 times. Alright, go back up here. Throttle goes up quarter way. And you can either turn the mixture up while it's starting to start. I just do it now because I'll forget. And then we do that. And then do your starter, let it spin for 4 seconds, and then move the magnetos all the way to ignite, and it should go. Whoops, I forgot to do something. And that's because this wasn't true until the new update. See my gas gauge here? It's off. By default, it used to start on the front, but now it's off. And that's something else everybody asks online. I noticed, which way is it pointing? Well, the skinny way is what you're rear tank, and that's off. And if you ever wanted to know, your gas gauges are right here. Where are they? What set? There you go. These are your fuel gauges. Okay, temps, which you have to know about. We'll talk about that later. You have to keep an eye on those or you'll start on fire. Alright, let's try this again. Oops, turn this off. Sorry. Alright, here we go. 4 seconds. Fuel should stay running this time. There we go. Pressure light. Right, let it warm up a little bit. I don't put it to close throttle until we get going here. Alright. Let's see my presets. I just changed these presets. I'm so sorry. There you go. Radios. Here's autopilot, by the way. Radios. Whoops. Come on. There it is. We're going to set this to the Roseau VOR, like I mentioned. Why the Roseau VOR? Because that's how we're going to go over town. Like I said, there's not an instrument approach to Roseau, but we are going to use the VOR, which is another airfield, just to get there. Alright, ADF, no ADF. I'll turn on in case I decide I want to use it. So just one click, yeah. It doesn't really line up, see. Here, while this aircraft is warming up, I'm just going to give it some praise. Best aircraft I've flown. Oops, sorry about that, keep my microphone. Best general aircraft I've flown, best one I've purchased. Like I said, it's tricky to land. It took me a long time to land without bouncing. I'll talk about that when it comes time to land. I mentioned some of these gauges. You want to keep the throttle in the green, keep the props in the green, so we'll lower the prop lever once we get up in the air. Let's see if I can remember my preset for... Oh, there it is. Temp has to be in the green, has to stay in the green, has to stay in the green. So you've got 4 gauges you got to keep your eye on. And I used to fly it all in the green and start on fire, realized it was this guy here. This one, turn off your carb heat once you get in the air. If you don't, you'll get a thing up here that says carb ice, that's fine, but the whole green start on fire. Kind of frustrating when you put all this work into starting the plane and taking off and you're on fire. Alright, so let's see if we can keep that idle, let's see if it dies. We might get a oil pressure, but I want to keep up a little bit. Alright, let's go inside the aircraft, see where we're at here. Alright, everyone's removed, I think we're ready to go. Alright. So what we're going to do, we're going to taxi out to the right. We're going to go there and head up due south, take off south, head due south. And we will, whoops. And we will head towards Roseau. There's my cheap view. And I did mention that I have flown in one of these aircrafts in real life, and it is exactly like this, except the one I had 2 yokes, one on each side. And it was a little tight. I'm 6'4", and it was a little tight, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not the same as riding in a commercial aircraft, that's for sure. Let's see. I know people call this cheating, but I don't care. We're just gonna go outside a little bit here. I do have my brakes on my yoke, but they're full strength brakes, so I gotta be a little careful or you will flip forward. Some flaps. Takeoff. And they're pretty serious about the flaps on that gauge. You really want to keep, you don't want to overflap. It's harder to control with more flaps because there's more drag. Of course, it helps in very, very short running situations, but for taking off, you do not want to overdo the flaps unless you have to. better, but it stays where you were. We obviously don't need all this runway, but I want to be able to turn around without problems. Side, GQ. And be careful on the brakes. Do this right, should pretty much be able to stay in place while I turn. Oops. There we go. Back to the craft, and I think we're ready to go. First flaps up. Get some speed here. It is windy. I'm not fine with real world weather. I usually don't. But it is windy. Alright, I'm going to pull the props back a little bit to see the green. And that can be adjusted as we go. Alright, let's set our AR to 90. There you go. Go ahead and do south until we get that. And where's my compass? There you go. Climb to about 4,000 feet. I don't think I'm going to use autopilot. South, Roseau is a little ways away yet, so let's take this here. So we'll climb to 4,000 feet, then we'll bring the last set of flaps in, and then our speed will take off like crazy. We'll have to be careful or we'll overspeed. Hurry, not to miss when we start on fire. Our gauge looking holds at 8. See how this is in the red already? We gotta be careful about that, so might bring the throttle back before we get to 4,000 feet. We'll see. Let's see what that airport looks like. There it is already. Well, people say this isn't a good climber, but it seems to climb pretty good to me. Now, if you're bush flying in the mountains, you gotta get somewhere to hurry. Yeah, I can see that. Alright, we'll put lots of flaps in. And we're a little bit off course because I'm not paying attention. See our speed now? Not at 4,000 yet. I will admit, when I fly VFR, I really don't care too much about the gauges. It kind of defeats the purpose to me. If I'm flying a flight plan, that's different. Alright, we're trimmed up a little bit here. 4,000 feet, we'll dial back the idle a little bit. I'm going to cool that down there so it's getting hot. Alright, 4,000 feet, whatever. These guys who flew these planes were, I've been told, pretty risky with flyers in this part of the country. Oh, we're good. There we go. Not much going on. Rural Minnesota here. out here. Trying to see where we're going here. Seems to be a lot smoother up here. We'll say at 5,000 feet. I think 4,000 feet was kind of rough. Alright, we're coming up on the Roseau VOR. The fun thing about turning is to turn without losing altitude or gaining altitude. There's Roseau right there. Go back on the stick a little bit to keep altitude. Change direction of the wind just really gets us here. I'm coming down on purpose now, close to the town. And we're about to intercept the VOR. And there we go. Spot on. For now. Not sure why the airport is blue up there. It's very strange. Wow, we're getting blown all over the place. It really is like this in real life on this plane too. There's any bit of turbulence, you definitely feel it. I've flown this many times. I don't remember that blue spot being up there. Alright, so here's the town of Roseau in front of us. Actually, let's go down the highway. Go down the highway pretty far. It's a small town in real life, but it looks just like this. This is exactly how this part of Minnesota looks in real life. Looks funny out of the window. There you go. There's Roseau, flying about 3,000 feet above it. Not only does the town look like this in real life, but the downtown is in the right area. You've got the main highway here. Over. Main highway going through town. Downtown is one block in. That's how it is in real life. I think I'll move over so you can look at the town off the passenger side. So that blue spot is at the airport. It's never been there before. I don't know what's going on. So let's see how those temperatures are doing. Remember that. See, we're out of there. We're below optimum temperature in all these, but that's because I got the throttle down to come down. But gotta keep an eye on all that. Props still in the green. There's the airport right there. Grass strip is there. Our former runway's there. We're gonna land in the grass strip. cars down there. See the train? There really are train tracks there in real life. I haven't ever seen a train on the tracks in real life. Use the throttle to use the rudder to turn so you can see it here. When I was in this plane in real life, it was for a sightseeing tour. The pilot did a really good job of using the rudder to tip the plane so we can see without turning. It was fascinating. Understanding how planes operate, and I knew what he was doing. It was fascinating. The Roseau River. Alright, we're going to land on that grass strip. I'm not going to slow down until we pass it though. I can make sharp turns. So looking up ahead, see the water up there on the horizon? That's like the woods. That's going to be our next airport. But that'll be in another video because since this account is new to me, I can't upload videos that long yet to get there. So that'll be a separate video. And then things get really interesting. This flight may not be interesting to most of the community, but I'm doing this for some certain people who haven't ever seen Flight Simulator, who know Roseau quite well. There's the Roseau Airport. I apologize in advance for not knowing the name of the airport. It was named after a Bush pilot. Would have flown something like this and landed on the grass strip like we're going to do. Alright, enough sightseeing. Time to see what we're doing here. Those of you who follow my channel will understand when I do my general aviation flights, I do so much sightseeing. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to what I'm doing with the controls, but no control tower here. I'm not going to get on the radio or anything. There's nobody to talk to in that plane. So I'm online or not online. Well, there's a little house down here too, which pretty hilarious. Alright, I have all our lights on because I left them on, so I left them like that. Let's see, altitude here is about, gosh, I think it's about 900 feet. Not sure, so we're about 1,000 feet above ground level right now. And they do have birds and deer turned off right now because I seem to have a bird strike most of my flights. And I was sick of starting planes just to crash on the runway with a bird striking my engine, so I've turned them off for now. Probably turn them back on real soon because nobody else on YouTube has bird strike videos. Alright, so another side note, now that we're facing north, see that tree line? That's Canada. It's 10 miles from here, and an X-plane, they draw Canada by a line of trees. And I lost the airfield. Alright, we better be over there. Alright, here we go. Yes, they would turn like this in real life from this plane. Sharp nosedive. Alright. Press the throttle. Now when I put out these flaps, you'll notice this thing will balloon. Which you want. You gotta be aware of it. So, first set of flaps. Second set of flaps, watch your airspeed drop very quickly. There's the balloon I was talking about. That nose down, and here's our landing flaps. Now, how do you land this plane? Nobody talks about this. You have to come in, flatten out, hit stall speed, and land at less than 10 feet per minute descent. So see my vertical speed indicator down there, I'm doing 500 feet per minute. Then has to get down to, I said 10, I meant 100. 400. Let's see, if I hit the ground now, I'm going to bounce. So, just above stall speed. We're going a little slow yet. Don't want to go that slow yet. Down, get down. 100 feet in the air. Alright. Flatten out over bounce. Draw back the power a little bit. You don't want to kill it till you're level. Okay. There we go. A little more power till we're level. And kill it. Don't think I bounced. I may have bounced. Oh well. We'll check in a second. What was that thing in the runway? There we go. Put in the flaps. Should be able to turn on a dime. I just reassigned all my controls, and I'm still learning what I did. Yeah, we'll just run over the taxi light. Nobody cares, right? There we go. Okay. That view kind of makes me nauseous. Alright. Let's see, we'll go to the far hangars here. Fuel. Office, main office, some hangars, the main hangar. There's that house back there. I was going to park over here. We started making another row of hangars. They just never built the hangars. That's where we'll park. I apologize for flying like a newbie today. I normally don't have these issues. I promise. You'll see. Alright, let's park it right there. The parking brake. Let's see what I'm going to do. Where's my new view I just set up? This one? This one? There we go. There it is. Alright. How much fuel do we use? Just a little bit from the front. Alright. So something you'll learn about me is I love to watch myself land because my landings are kind of crappy. And you only learn if you watch yourself, right? You can't get better if you don't watch yourself. I think I actually bounced, which is going to be too bad because I haven't bounced in a good 6 months with this thing. I also landed long because I was busy talking. I was a little distracted. Alright, let's see here. You know, I bounced. I can't believe it. Can't win them all, right? I landed very long and I bounced. What is that thing? The runway. I don't remember putting that there. Alright, well, there you have it. Our first flight for everybody on YouTube. And that's a wrap.